Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
Time for Outdoor Tidbits with Mr. Jake Bolks here this morning, Conservation Warden for the great state of Wisconsin. Jake, appreciate you hopping on a little bit later here this morning. So hopefully I didn't mess up your schedule too much this morning, bud.
Nah, nope. Another
Okay.
beautiful Thursday morning, so I can't complain.
Hey, dude, the mornings with this little chill now, I'm really fully invested into fall and hunting season now coming up here. So
Yeah, I've been joking with a lot of people about how many days till the teal season, but it is pretty nice. My wife woke up this morning, the house was freezing cold, and she hated it, but I loved it.
nice. Hey, it's still fishing season, though. I mean, we still got a lot of people out on the water, right? So even though hunting season's coming up here, we're at end of August, we're getting into September here, but might be a good time. Maybe do you want to go over some of the fishing regulations? Because we're still busy on the water, right?
Still in the water, and fish bite year round. There's obviously times where they're more apt to bite than others, but a lot of fish kind of have a fall bite because they're trying to stockpile some fat and get nice and big and plump to ride out the winter. And we're seeing a lot of people out fishing, and we're seeing a lot of people catching fish, which is awesome. But with that being said, just yesterday, me and another warden ran into way too many people that had short smallmouth, short northern pike, and all these different things, walleye. And we seized a lot of fish yesterday, which isn't, to me, that exciting because half the time it's usually like the kid that catches it, and I have to seize it from a 8-year-old because Dad let him keep a short fish, and that's, I never like doing that for kids or anything like that. So
Right.
It's really, really important to read the regulations before you go out. I can't hit on every regulation because we'd be here till tomorrow. But
Right.
I really encourage everyone to grab the fishing regulations and check the spot. I think if you're not familiar with using the regs, you definitely want to start in the back of the book. In the back of the book, it has the general open inland water regulations. You're going to want to look at that because that's going to show you that generally across the state, bass are 14 inches. If you're north of Highway 10, there's no size limit on pike, but if you're south of Highway 10, you can only keep 2 of them, and they have to be 26 inches. If you're in the ceded territory, there's a special regulation on walleye where there's a slot limit. If you're south of the ceded territory, the daily bag is 3, but if you're on the rivers, like Mississippi River, it's 5, so some border water. So those are like the general across the state. You're probably safe if you follow those regulations, but after you look at those, you want to dig into the middle of the book and find whatever county you're in. So say you're in Clark County, you want to open the Clark County book and make sure there's no special regulations on Mead Lake or Lake Arbutus or the Black River or whatever, rivers running through the county, because that might be where you have some extra specialized regulations that you weren't aware of.
This might be a dumb question, Jake, and I apologize if it's dumb, but you kind of mentioned
No
south,
dumb question.
you mentioned south of Highway 10 or 64 or whatever, but different parts in the state have those different timelines and different regulations for fishing. That why isn't there just like one set of regulations for the entire state? I got to imagine there's probably it depends on the body of water, what's going on in that body of water and such. Is that kind of why we don't just have like one set of regulations across the state?
Yeah, no, that's a good assumption. There's a lot of different reasons for it. There's not just like not one overarching reason like this is why we do it this way. The multitude of reasons include like you mentioned. So every body, just like everyone's woods are different or field edges are different. Every water body is different in a sense. Most fish need pretty specific conditions to spawn and to grow and to naturally reproduce and stuff like that. So, one lake on one side of the road could have a totally different topography on the bottom. It could be made out of, hard rock on the bottom versus muck on the other side and all this kind of stuff. And that's going to vary, I guess, it's going to affect, their natural reproduction and how big they grow, depending on how much, bait fish are in the lakes or rivers and all this kind of stuff. That's why, like, the Chippewa River sturgeon are always going to be thin. Even if you catch a 60-inch fish, it's going to be extremely thin. Versus you go out to Lake Winnebago, those things are going to be fat sturgeon, and it's based off just the foraging and the current that goes through. So reasons like that, the biologists create different regulations to help support and manage those populations a little bit differently depending on the water body and such. Plus, there's just the cultural aspect of it. Some people want lakes where they want a 50-inch muskie limit because they want giant muskies, where a different lake in the same area might want a specialized walleye rig because they want walleyes, and some lakes have panfish length limits, which isn't a thing in the state, but some people make special ordinances for those or special rules for those lakes.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just because I'm sure there's probably, I don't know if you've ever gotten that question, but I'm sure some people are wondering, like, why can't it just be, same rules, like maybe kind of like hunting in a sense, where,
right.
That sort of stuff. But there's a lot of factors involved in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors, and there's just so many lakes and so many fishermen and landowners or lake homeowners that want certain things, and the laws and management techniques allow us to kind of control it for what the public wants and what people want. And I think a lot of times that's usually a good thing because people get what they want, but it can make it kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Jake, I know, with duck hunting coming up next month and such, we'll probably hit that up a little bit more in the coming weeks here, but just a general question we just got on the texting line here. Somebody wants to know that they want to try duck hunting this year, but they don't really have their own property to go to. Can they go to like Pershing wildlife areas, or where are some options that they can go to? It looks like they're asking. Yeah,
so generally most duck hunters are going to be hunting some sort of public area because it's really hard, unless you're hunting like fields where a farmer owns a field and the ducks are landing in or waterfowl are landing in or whatnot. It's pretty hard to own it. So a lot of people are going to be in public areas, and most state wildlife areas, state natural areas, state land, county land, it's all open to hunting. Whether it's waterfowl hunting, deer hunting, whatever. Just like deer hunting, you just want to, whatever property you're going to, you want to look at the rules. So if you're going to county land, say you're going to Eau Claire County, you're going to want to go to the Parks and Forestry Department's website to make sure there's nothing that says you're not allowed to do this. Or if you're going to the Lower Chippewa State Natural Area, you can click on our DNR website, type in where you're going, and it's going to tell you all the list of activities you can do. And the same goes with when you go on rivers. If you drop your boat in on a river, you can go hunt for the most part anywhere in the river, as long as, even if it's private property on each side of the river, if you're stay in your boat in the water, you can hunt in that river. Granted, you got to be out of the city of Eau Claire because of a town ordinance in different spots. But if you're going further up the Chippewa, if you're going out on the Eau Claire River, wherever the Mississippi, as long as you're in your boat, it's kind of like fishing. You can go out there and go wherever.
Interesting. All right,
I do know.
Oh, go for it.
Sorry. I'll hit just quick. If you're new to it and you're interested in it, I'm not plugging Facebook but a lot of different social medias like Facebook, they have Wisconsin Duck Hunting Association and different stuff for clubs. And I see on those websites all the time, people, hey, I got a boat, I'm going by myself. If someone wants to jump, I go fishing all the time too. But if you're looking for something new, there's usually people out there that are willing to share their experiences and take people out hunting. So maybe that's an option.
That's a good note there, too. Yeah, that's a good idea. He's Jake Bolks, Conservation Warden for the state of Wisconsin. Jake, appreciate the time, as always, buddy.
Sure.
Continue to be safe out there. Enjoy the weather, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Okay, bud?
Yeah, you guys have a good one. Everyone be safe out there.
You too. There you go. There's Jake Bolks, Conservation Warden for the state of Wisconsin.